Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in studio, Ipsy Ed Bonderenka.
Howdy. It looks promising outside.
Spring is in the air.
Yes.
Spring is in the air.
No singing, Gary. Or I will. And we'll lose everybody.
Yeah. Well, no one ever said I was a good singer, so we can start right there. Well, welcome to The Drift, and what we do every Saturday is go over the news that we put on thedailydrift.com. It's
the news you need to know.
Well done. And news from around the world and across the country and even right here at home sometimes. So you can check that out at, where am I going with that? I don't know.
Thedailydrift.com?
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
Man, I just had
for
a
the
brain
news
freeze.
you need to know.
That would just my mind just froze up like that for a minute.
I'm glad that never, what was the word I was going to use? Never, it happens to me. Yeah.
It happens to me all the time. All right, well, it's happening today, obviously. So we got a ton of things to cover. It was a busy week. And did you get some audio for Miss Whitmer? Okay.
Oh, I forgot to ask if he got it, but I'm sure he did.
Okay, yeah, he's got it. So we're going to get into that. Before we do, I wanted to do a quick update that I just saw out of Chicago. And this is dated today. So Empire actor Jussie Smollett indicted on 16 felony counts by the grand jury.
Yeah.
That's justice.
Yeah.
I hope you go to jail for a little while.
Yeah.
You know
and his
what I mean?
lawyer says he's being, what was the term he used? Gangbanged by the media.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
No. Sorry.
What it's like, yeah.
You broke the law.
He's going to prison.
Yeah, go to prison. And so there was already a meme out on Twitter I just saw of two prison guys getting their hair, one's giving the other a haircut, and it's Bill Cosby cutting Jussie Smollett's hair. So,
yeah, well.
Uncle Bill cut your hair, Jussie. Come on in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So.
Well, the bleach doesn't fit. You must have quit,
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, for me, that's good news. The least there's some justice in the world. I mean, obviously, it's not Hillary or Barack or Comey
Wait a
or
minute.
somebody
He's
going
still
to
not in jail, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. 16 felonies is a lot. He's going to do some time somewhere. It may be club fed, but he's going to do it, right?
Hey, let me tell you, club fed is not club fed, okay? I mean, I know somebody close and personal was in club fed, so to speak. It's not fun.
Not fun?
No, it's just low security. You get to go out, you might be able to go out and do farming and the like, but you're still in prison.
Kind of like Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. A little nicer. Well, we're going to
You're
start.
still fighting over which TV show to watch with guys bigger than you.
I don't want to watch that again.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the Michigan gas tax because that's close to home. Gretchen Whitmer, our esteemed new Democratic governor,
It's got me steamed.
this week said, look, we're going to go for a 45-cent tax increase on your gas prices. I get a little steamed when we were almost down to $2 a gallon, and now we're back to $2.48, probably because of the Venezuelan issue, I'm assuming is what drove it back through the roof, right? It's not
And then,
through the
and you see that, and you go, "Oh, I forgot to tank up this morning." Even if I was only had a half tank, I should have filled up. Who knows? It's like buying stock. You never know. And then you ask yourself, what did that? Why did it jump 48 cents? You know.
Yeah,
but in this case,
it's that fire or Venezuela or whatever.
In this case, I wonder, who launched what in the Middle East last night? What guy died in the Middle East? But then, tomorrow when you wake up and it's up to $3, you'll know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
If you listen to this show.
So, you have a track of her, and I didn't see this, so I'm glad that you pulled this up because this is from when she was what? Go ahead and explain
this is part of the gubernatorial debate that she had on the western side of the state in October, I think, against Bill Schuette. And Bill Schuette said something, and she had a response, and Derek will play it for us.
Go ahead.
Very importantly, we have $1.2 billion planned to invest in the roads till 2021. I'll make it a priority to add to that. Now, Gretchen Whitmer wants to have a 20-cent gas increase.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
It's nonsense, and you know it.
No, that's what you said.
It is nonsense. It's outright lie on the part of Bill Schuette. She did not want to have a 20-cent.
She wanted a 45-cent.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. So typical Democrats, right? Folks, you voted for her. You voted her in. Let's blame. I'll put the proper blame. We didn't have a very good Republican candidate.
No.
Bill Schuette was nonsense and was ill-prepared and everything else under the sun. Hey, the Michigan Republicans, I hope this time whoever's in charge after that last convention we had up there that they're going to look better at candidates, because you can't pick a guy like Bill Schuette and think he's going to win. Well, who was thinking that anyways?
The same people who suggested Hillary Clinton could win. That same mindset. It's her turn. It's his turn.
Yeah. Enough is enough. Let's find good folks who are liked and who can win. You know, you take the best that can win, not the best that can't win, because that doesn't help us, right?
Who do you suspect? And I know I have this personal prejudice towards Colbeck, but as far as a statewide name recognition, who do you suspect could run for governor and get it?
I don't know. I'm
fresh. John James could, perhaps,
maybe,
after his senatorial run?
John James has some street cred that he's built, I think, after the last election. I was just thinking of Pat Colbeck the other day, thinking, why doesn't he run for Congress? He could get a congressional seat pretty easily, I would think.
I would think,
You know? So I'm hoping Pat's not done. If you're listening, Pat, don't be done.
Well, he's still
come back,
working with that Michigan Grassroots Coalition.
Yeah, and he's staying busy, he's staying involved. But man, I'd like to see him run for Congress.
You could call in. You call in, Pat. I know you're listening.
Well, let's take a call from Joe in Wyandotte, who wants to talk about Gretchen Whitmer. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, first, you think John James might be able to pull a reverse Stabenow. Stabenow did that the other way. She had a failed governor run and then parlayed that into Senate. You think James may be able to do that in reverse, and I think you could be right.
Oh,
I don't know if he's interested. It's just I'm trying to think of what's a name out there that could do it. They could take Wayne County. You know, I mean, he didn't get the Senate run, but he was going against an incumbent. I don't know.
Yeah, it's too soon to even. It's 4 years away. What does worry me is it's never too soon to start on Gary Peters. And Joe, I know you kind of changed your Facebook website over from Thanks for Nothing Debbie to Thanks for Nothing Gary Peters.
Yeah, well, they both exist. They both have existed for years. So, but yeah, the focus has changed to Gary Peters now, and in scuttlebutt whether James may run for that seat too. But yeah, I did call about Whitmer, and first the rhinos in Lansing. We have to keep a close eye on them and pressure on them too, because while they are clearly saying 45 cents, tripling it, the highest tax in the country would be ridiculous, notice how they're not saying any gas tax is dead on arrival, period.
Yeah.
So they're leaving wiggle room, and we need to keep pressure on them. No tax increases, period, whatsoever, any way, shape, or form. Cut other places, prioritize the budget. Lansing is awash in money, and they let Rhino Rick, just keep running up higher and higher budgets with the more money that they've got. And Witless, as I call her, that's not the only tax she's looking at going at. She's looking at increasing the business tax. She keeps harping on she wants to eliminate the retirement tax, which she lies about. Remember her Tammy ad on TV talking about the waitress? Well, the retirement tax has nothing to do with waitresses at your local restaurant.
That's right.
If you want to help Tammy and the hardworking poor, you need to cut the state tax, or let's cut property taxes so seniors stop getting kicked out of their homes because they can't afford the property tax after they went way back up after we had gotten them down from Proposal A. So, I mean, she claims it'll be a shift from the retirement to businesses. Of course, it won't be. She will want an increase, not just a shift.
Yeah,
so revenue neutral.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Drive businesses out of Michigan again.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I've had this question for a while. When we decided to tax the pensions, those were government pensions, not everyone else's pensions, because everyone else already pays on their pensions. Correct? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Correct. It was a clawback mechanism. It is for government pensions that were way out of control and or other people who have additional supplemental pensions. If you're on Social Security and you have another pension, some of that may be taxable, but it affects a minute, small number of people, and you are absolutely right. It was mainly geared at Michigan employees, public sector employees, claw back some of the outrageous benefits that they get on our dime for not working.
And so for me, I don't want to hear any more people saying, "Oh, those poor people are getting taxed on their pensions," because you and I don't work for the government. I have to pay tax on my pension. Right? I have to. Yeah. So why wouldn't a government employee? If this were 50 years ago when government employees didn't make very much and whatnot, government employees make more than people in the private sector. So if you have to pay your taxes on your pension, so do the rest of us. Welcome to the club, folks. So I'm sorry, government employees. You're paying your fair share like the rest of us. You got to pay on your pension. We got to pay on our pension. That's fair. So I don't want to hear anybody, these Democrats, trying to bleed hard us on pensions for government employees. That's nonsense because they make more money than we do.
Democrat redistribution. They want to reward the public sector unions and steal from businesses again. And again, we'll have another lost decade, just like we've been saying, if you elect witless.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Let's get back to the gas tax.
Thank you.
If we're number 6 right now in the country for what we pay in gas tax, that's correct. As far as from all the reading I've done, we're number 6. I think Pennsylvania is number 1. And yet we have probably the worst roads. We've got to be in the top 5 worst roads in the nation, at least, I would think. What is it? And I was listening to Gruber the other day. What is it that Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin do differently than us that their roads aren't as bad as we are?
They do have less salt.
All right,
they're more southerly climbed than Michigan.
Wisconsin's not. Do we use salt? Probably because we have a lot of salt underneath us, right? Which I can understand. So how about we stop using so much salt? A little more sand, a little more beet juice, whatever. You know, they've been using the beet juice to make that solution. That's an option. But why do we not just, if the answer is what Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana are doing, just duplicate it? Why rethink the whole process? Figure out how they finance and what their regulations are, duplicate it here, and let's see what happens.
That's the whole purpose of a republic, is that each of the states was supposed to be a test bed and a laboratory for legislation to see what the results would be. And we can all look at California and say we don't want that.
Correct. Correct. So it bothers me that there is a solution out there, folks. Ohio's doing it. Indiana's doing it. What are we doing differently? Is it our regulations on the trucks? Are our trucks too heavy? Too many? I heard some guy talking about too many axles, and I thought, oh, that's different thinking, because I always thought the more axles, the better. You're distributing the weight. But this guy had some long, complicated engineering thing that said it's not.
You mentioned Pat, and Pat, of course, had the plan that would drive the cost curve down over time, not up. And one last point on this tax dodge. Remember Proposal P, save the parks. We got to spend more on parks. That was a scam. They got that in. There was a parks-only revenue generator, and what did they do? They then cut all the general fund money that was going to the parks, which then allowed them to use that general fund, slush fund, for the backdoor deals that they wanted. And it's the same with this. She wants to raise the gas tax, yes, constitutionally mandated for roads, but but then that frees up other monies that would have been coming out of the general fund for the roads for her to use as a slush fund.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. All right.